Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is episode 2 of my series on insecurity. Today I will be joined by one of my closest friends, Josephine. We'll be going deeper into how insecurity shows up for her and steps Josephine takes to overcome insecurity and her journey so far. So grab some snacks, grab a cup of tea, bottle of water, and let's go.
So we are coming here with a force, yeah. Blessings we are reaping, we coursing on full. Oh, we not rise and boast. Yeah, we give thanks like we need it the most. We have to give thanks like we really supposed to be thankful. Blessings all for my life and
Hi guys, so I have my friend here, Josephine, with me. We're going to be doing something a little bit different. So it's like a paint and chat thing or draw. Well, we're going to be doing art today, yeah. So today, as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about insecurities. If Josephine wants to introduce herself.
My name's Josephine. I have bare insecurities. Ooh, it's a struggle. No, I joke. I'm a teacher, English and drama teacher,
Peace.
mentor, and I call myself an indecisive creative because I just do very different things. Yeah.
We love to see it. We love to see it. Someone that dribbles in all of it. We love it. So my first question to you is, what does insecurity feel like or look like to you? Like when you think insecurity, what type of things arise?
Are we starting planning now, yeah? Okay. When I think of insecurities, what do I think arises?
Yeah, like what feelings, what so I know for me, when I think insecurity, I think pride, anger, envy, how frightened even, but that all of that is undertoned by insecurity. So like for you, what does it look like kind of?
Mine would be jealousy, comparison, low self-esteem, um yeah, those sort of things. That's what it's like.
I feel like that's kind of similar for loads of people, all those feelings together. Um, so when it comes to things like jealousy, comparison, low self-esteem, what kind of situations put you there? Like when do you feel insecure the most, or do you notice those feelings arising?
I think, and do you know what? I think I've always kind of been jealous, but because my jealousy doesn't come in the form of like hating on the other person. I used to think, oh, I'm not jealous because like I'm just admiring them. But then I realized, okay, I may not be being negative to that person, but I'm being so negative to myself. So the jealousy effect is still negative in that situation. It's just on another person, which is me. So I think I was made self-aware of that, I guess, when I first like started getting social media, and I got Instagram by that time, and I realized I was just scrolling and comparing myself to people. And I'd be bigging them up. I'll be like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Da, 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 da. So it just seems like appreciation. That's all I thought it was. But then I realized, like, I think one of my biggest things is in terms of my appearance, because I've grown up for a large portion of my years um, hearing negative things either about my weight or certain features, um, getting bullied because of that. By the time people started complimenting me, it's kind of cancelled out because
Yeah.
opinions is always held in the negative, and where the largest amount of time was spent talking negatively about my appearance. I was always very self-aware of when people would snigger, or like I'm so conscious in my surroundings. Like if I'm not
Even if it's not about you, you're still like, well, you're the wrong. Honestly, I relate.
It's true. Sometimes I put it on myself, but sometimes I'm right, Tanisha. All I'm saying is I'm right, and it comes
The
out.
instincts, yeah.
So because I'm always conscious like that, or I overhear things and people don't realize I know, or someone passes it down and informs me, I'm just like, oh, so this rhetoric is still there. And so even if someone compliments me, I'm just like, rah, no, behind the scenes, they still think these things. So by the time social media came, I was just like, rah, I know this is what society likes, and I know I'm not that. So, brother, I do not feel good in my skin. Or even if I did, I kind of have this perspective that I know if someone says, oh, Josephine, you're so beautiful. Like, I'm like, no, not really. Like, look at society's standard of beautiful. I ain't sitting in that comfortably. Like, why are you lying? It's kind of that dismissive thing to compliments, which Tanisha, you know a lot about, eh? Oh,
Do you know what? I don't know what you're calling me out for, because, but it is true. It is true. Like, I feel like we're very similar in the sense that obviously the whole bullying thing, much of my life was spent, oh, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, da, 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 whatever, whatever. So then when people are now coming with the compliments, I'm like, are you being honest? Like, why are you lying for? It's actually not by force.
yeah.
And it's because you're so used to consistently hearing the negative. So now your brain has to now swap almost and now absorb something positive, but because it's like a sponge, because it's already soaked up all of that negative stuff, it can no longer carry on soaking up anything more. So even if you try to squeeze it, it's hard to get all the water out, all the negative things out in order to absorb the positive. And you're trying and you're trying, you might even tell yourself a couple things, you never know, affirmations, whatever, but then the next day you're like, nah, that was all a lie, bun it. And you know what's funny, like, when I look at you, I admire you, and this is why you shouldn't even compare yourself to other people. Because I look at you and think, yeah, man, Josephine. But Josephine in herself is battling what Josephine is battling. But I'm not seeing that unless I talk to you. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, imagine if I look like that, or da 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 da. But I don't know what is going on with Josephine. So it's like, that's where we need to work on our insecurities and on our comparison, because you never know what the next person is going through. Even though you're looking at them thinking, yeah. Everyone, I feel like everyone has an insecurity, whether it not be with looks, it might be somewhere else or in something else, might be money, might be family, might be relationships, it just, yeah. So you should never compare in that sense. So as a content creator, because you mentioned you're an indecisive creator, so Josephine does art, poetry, photography. She's a singer, and dare I say model, even though she didn't want me to say it. Yes, she's a model. So how does insecurity play into being a creative, being a creator, a content creator, and all of that?
It plays a big part. So I've like reached a new chapter recently since lockdown, but prior to that, I would literally create decent stuff, like I used to have a YouTube and posted my singing on there, and then one day I just deleted it all. Same with my poetry. I had like a stock of poems when I was younger. Like one day I'm just like, oh, like what is this? What is this?
What made it get to that point?
Sometimes it's not even a lot. I just look back on my work and I'm just like, well, this is not up to par, or I know there's great art, like what's the point? That sort of rhetoric comes in my head. And then I just delete it all. Then on top of that, I have this, it's a really limiting like mentality, but I have this thing that sometimes I don't like to give 100% because I prefer to fail knowing I've done things half-heartedly, so I can say, oh, I didn't really care, or I didn't really mind, or that wasn't really all of me, and then it's just more like, yeah, that's why I failed. But when you give 100 in something and then after that, it sets you back a lot of places, and I just don't. So now I don't often give 100%. So in singing, let's say, the way I sing in my house is so different from when I sing at church or in public. Just because I'm so nervous, like, and I hear the way people talk, and I know there's better singers, say especially in the SDA church, and I'm just like, no, let me just sit comfortably where I know I can do the basics and enjoy it there. Even though I know I could probably do better, I don't want to do it publicly because that is just embarrassing.
But do you think in a way you're holding yourself back? Because I get it. I get if you don't give 100, then you can say, yeah, cool, I haven't given 100, which is why I failed.
Yeah.
But either way, don't you see your failing? You can reframe failing to see it as learning. So even if what you're doing isn't up to par yet, as long as you know you've given 100, cool, someone else might have done better, but I think it was you and someone else that told me the difference is you. Like, you've given 100, and what you've done, that is what you've produced. These thoughts of failing or whatever, they might come from the things you said before: comparison, jealousy, envy. So is it necessarily that you failed, or that you've programmed yourself to think, okay, no, I failed?
Yeah, and it kind of softens the blow, this idea of ownership of certain failures or failures. Like, it's better for you to claim it yourself than think you. I don't know, I find the concept a bit like embarrassing. Like, imagine one day I'm just walking with my chest and I'm like, yeah, I'm the best photographer out there. And then people are just like, and it comes back to people's opinions. And I'm getting there with my lack of care or need or rely on people's opinions.
For validation.
Yeah, but I'm not there yet because it's just like, that's embarrassing to think you got it going for you. Like sometimes I see how people move and then I'm just like, oh sis, like, wow, how do you do it? Because they know what's being said around them, but they're still moving with their chest. But for me, I would just find it embarrassing to think I've done really well. And then someone say, what was Josephine doing?
But most of the people that we look at, they were probably in our shoes at one point. They probably struggled at one point, but it took loads of so-called failures. It took loads of so-called breakdowns, loads of attempts, loads of days where they thought, oh my gosh, people are saying this about me, to suddenly turn around and be like, do you know what? I don't care. I know that this is my purpose. This is what I do. This is what I enjoy. So I'm going to continue. And as I continue, I may not be the best now, but I can get there. I may not have all the followers, fans, whatever now, but I might get there. I might not. And even if I don't, it's still what I enjoy, as long as I can help, or whatever, one person, two people, as long as I'm getting there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because this is the stage I'm in now. So I still kind of care about the opinion, and I still kind of limit myself because I still don't think like I'm doing great. But with my Instagram, I'm posting like the things I create or do. But I'm posting them with the mentality, because also perfectionism is a limitation for me as well. And that's sometimes why I would look back at my work and be like, this ain't perfect, this ain't up to par, so it's not going anywhere. So I've promised myself with my Instagram account now, I won't delete anything off it, even if I look back and say, oh, this could be better, this could be changed. And even before that, when posting, I'm not waiting for it to be perfect, otherwise I'll never even end up in public. I'm just like, the people are getting what they get.
Exactly.
Me. And then like underneath it in my what's it called, the section underneath, not bio, underneath
Caption thingy, yeah.
Making it something meaningful so I could get to the headspace, like you said, like hopefully this will have an impact, even though it's imperfect, even though maybe it didn't take me long or it took me very long and I put a lot in this, there's still a message behind it. So some, even if they don't like the picture or piece of art or whatever, they can look at the caption and see something in it. So as much as I'm doing it for myself to just get myself out there and try, I'm doing it for others. Hopefully it'll be a blessing for others in the process. And that kind of deters the pressure of saying, oh, it needs to be perfect to appease people who have a certain standard of what kind of art they like or music they like. I'm just like, yo, if one person gets a blessing from it, cool, because I know.
Exactly, because you're never gonna appease to everybody. Like, everybody has their different taste, what they like. So just about doing what you want to do, and whoever you attract, because as you said, the difference is literally you. I was going to say something, but I even forgot what I was going to say because you've spoken very well. But the next question, I feel like you answered it a bit already, but what have you learned from about yourself from, like, when you find yourself in feelings of insecurity, or what do you take from the situations? Like, what lessons do you learn?
I I think when I like retrospectively, you know, hindsight is a real thing. But I really missed out on opportunities by saying no because of my fear before doing it.
Yeah.
So some of the modeling that you like to bring up that I did it at a period it was all in a certain period of my life where I was just like, let me just get out there and say yes to anything. And I enjoyed the process of it because I'm a photographer. I enjoyed like watching how everything's put together and stuff like that. But even after doing those photo shoots and me enjoying the process and me liking the images after, I just went into another headspace. It's like my head is tuned to find something else. Like if I'm okay with my body and the way I look, my headspace went into, like they only liked you because of your hair. Like it's not because you're pretty, or it's not because like you fit this space, or because you're very good at modeling or anything. And I was just like, is that all I'm good for? Like, you know what I mean? Just the rest.
Yeah.
And I had to like quickly fix myself up after that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
So was it a thing where you were like, cool, I'm doing this, but I still don't feel comfortable in this, but I'm gonna do it anyway?
Yeah, and I think sometimes it has to be done because I'd still be stuck in my ways if I now.
Yeah, so got kicked off because Zoom is rude and I'm not paying no monthly nothing. But anywho, so I was saying fake it till you make it. So you agree with fake it till you make it?
Yeah, only for a period of time, like a wake up call for yourself, just to get you out there.
So I might rephrase it. So not fake it till you make it, but do it even though your heart might die. Like it's like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone to see where you could go, essentially. Not faking it, but forcing yourself to do it, going against what you think, essentially.
I mean, that's the PC way of saying it, but I'm faking it. Like, it's a lie.
No.
Belief is coming. Do you know what I mean? So fake it, make it to a good starting point where you're doing things real. That's where you go.
But as she said, guys, make sure you don't stay there. We can't make it forever. You have to take lessons and keep pushing out of your comfort zone, okay? No faking forever.
Yes.
But I'm a hypocrite, but we move.
Work in progress. Work in progress.
Exactly. Progress, working. I like that, but I'm not a hypocrite. I'm work in progress. See, I'm just bringing you guys on the journey with me. So that's what we do. So last but not least, what things do you do or can you do in order to improve your confidence or improve your self-esteem, or when you're in those situations, how do you try and get rid of those feelings, I guess, or strengthen your confidence? Don't know how to word it, but I think you get where I'm coming from.
I get you. A variety of things, and some of them will work in certain situations and not others, so it really depends. But one of the things I like to remind myself, especially when I get low, and I say these things, not that I've perfected them, but I try them and they work for a little bit. But is reminding yourself, or I try to remind myself that God has given me breath this moment for a purpose.
Amen.
I think times when I felt really low or purposeless or like confused, like what's the point? Why am I here? Like what am I actually bringing to the table? I think like God tells us in various ways how he's intentional with us and purposeful with our creation in every step of our lives. So though we take it for granted sometimes, waking up in the morning or even my next words or the next breath that I have, God is saying intentionally, like speaking, giving us that breath each day. And I'm just thinking, like he's actually blessing me with something. And all I'm doing is limiting myself. And I'm just like, why am I being disrespectful to God? Like, how dare I?
I think for me, the biggest example of God's
creation and intention is nature. Like whenever I look at nature, the way things are, just to the way our bodies function, the way the birds wake up and tweet and wake me up, the way the wind blows, the way trees grow, the way, like I was looking at the sunset the other day, I was like, the God that made this took his time to also make me and you. There's no way I'm still breathing for no reason. Like, he's done all of this for a purpose. The way the moon can control the tides, I'm thinking, what? Like, and you want to, nah, there's no way God doesn't work without intention. I don't believe in coincidence. I think everything falls into place when and how God wants it. And he's given each of us talents, and it's up to us to utilize that. And he knows that we can handle them, which is why he gives it to us. But he wants us to do it to the maximum potential. Like, get in there, sis. Like, do what you need to do, because I've called you for this purpose. Don't let anyone say anything about you, because I know what I've said about you. So go and do it. Like, simple as. Well, it's not as simple as, but
it's there for us, man.
It's there for us.
So that's one of the things. I'd also say, like, surround yourself with people who are honest. I think by force in school, sometimes your friendship groups are made up of, you know, if you find out later, that sounds traumatized, but that are fake. And that's where my trust issues come from, because I really loved them friends and thought they were good and trusted what they'd said, and then you find out it's not the case later on. Like, it damages your trust in people's opinions, I think. Like, I remember one time, like, I was singing for a church service, and someone was just like on the tram with my mum on the way home, and they were like, yeah, that girl's not really fit to be singing for this service. Like, she didn't realize that was my mum in it. And she was talking, and my mum was just like, yeah, that's my daughter. That's my mum.
Wow.
And then mum was like, that's my daughter. And they were like,
this is why sometimes you just need to stay pim.
And I was broken that day. I was like, is this how it be? Is this how it be? But it's a small church, and I know I hugged all the dons there. So yeah, but it's gonna be like that. But finding people around you who are honest. So not that, I was gonna use the phrase, but it's not. They're not like suck ups to you.
Yeah.
Not yes.
That,
so you don't need that either. So you don't need backstabbers, and you don't need yes men, because being told yes or you're amazing in vain is not the one either. It's not
constructive criticism.
Yeah, you need honest people and truthful people by your side. Like, I've got a friend called Ray, and he's so blunt, and so sometimes I struggle with it, innit? But then I know when he says a compliment or
being honest
for my work, I know, bruh, like, okay, I'm going in the right direction, or this is good. Like, when you have people like that, your head struggles, even though it may fight it sometimes, it struggles to go back to default, like, oh, they're just saying it. Because you know, when you put in perspective, they're not just saying it. Otherwise, they would have said it about other things. And it does help, it really helps to shape or just get you back on your feet, that kind of opinion. Yeah, that helps as well. Because I'm not really an affirmations person. Like, sometimes I'm just like, oh, here we go. Like, oh, this is cheesy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, different things work for different people too.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying. But yeah, those are a few things that kind of worked for me, I guess, or are working for me slowly and getting in that headspace.
Well, it's been amazing talking. Do you know why I enjoyed talking to you today? I think I said it earlier. One, when you look at people, you never really know what's going through their mind. You're like, that's my G, Josephine, like, strong, but whatever. And you know what? I've started to hate the term strong to describe me, because I feel like it's a label that I have to live up to. But when you really talk to people, everyone's actually dealing with something, whether they talk about it or not. whether it be big or small, everyone is dealing with something, which is why when we have these insecurities, I'm not saying, I'm insecure, but someone else is too, so that should make me feel better. But just don't look at another person and idolize. Like, focus on yourself, invest in those around you. And I know for me and you invested in God as well. I'm not going to impose that on people, but that's just what I believe. So it's like, just focusing on the key areas of life and getting there, and sure enough, your security, your sense of security, your sense of self-esteem, it will grow. So I just want to thank Josephine for coming to talk. What?
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
As much as I'm saying, like, have those people around you that are truthful, don't become reliant on anybody at the same time. Because I think now I've come out of a relationship, and I was like, in the relationship, I was like, oh, my self-esteem's growing, like I was feeling really good about myself. And then it's ended now. And when it ended, the way my self-esteem just went, we're taking it all back. Every insecurity you had, like, is all flawed. Like, it felt all flawed at that time. And then I realized that, oh, Josephine, you need to start from scratch, because it was actually a facade that you thought, like, you were building your confidence in something valuable. Like, you have to build it for yourself.
Amen.
Time. And so maybe trust in yourself is part of the process. So in the imperfections and perfections, embracing them, like what I said to you, as you, like, you're not supposed to be in the same lane as somebody else, because God didn't, it's not a two-way system. It's just, that's your system, that's someone else's. And trust in yourself or who God's created you to be, and build from there. Things like self-care, I'm trying now. The better you feel about yourself in general, the better what you produce.
True.
Yourself, it all kind of works with each other, inside out and outside in. So that sort of thing works. But I just wanted to say that because I was like, rah, like, starts relying on one person for their life, and then it's just gone in a split second. Yeah. So
I mean, that's true.
But yeah. Wisdom.
Thank you, Josephine, for the wise words. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope everyone else is blessed that tunes in, that listens. You can check Josephine out on her Instagram. Would you like to shout it out?
Is it because you can't pronounce it, or?
Yeah.
It's Maulafe, at Maulafe. So
I will put it in the description what's below. Yeah. Cool, because Josephine came to call me out. Couldn't just say it without calling me out. But we moved. Remember to like
honesty.
Do you know what? Forget you. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching my channel. Yeah. See you next time.
Bye.